This is Duskfade. It is a adventure puzzle game. There's a few mechanics in this game and there's also a few boss fights. Now this game's graphics are actually amazing and the movement is so fluid. I think it will be really good at speedrunning. So basically what you will be doing is exploring these really well crafted environments and they look really cool. There's a few resources that you can get, or a few stuff that you can mine with the sword, or boxes that you can... There's lots of interactability and lots of hidden places too, so there'll be currency inside of a cave or a chest inside of a cave or up on rooftops, which are really hard to get to. And I don't actually know what this currency is for because the demo does not tell you, but what I will say is there are some NPCs throughout these worlds and they honestly don't do anything. I'm not sure why they exist, but they do. You can go up to them, you can talk to them. There's going to be like 3 lines and then you'll never see them again and everything seems really pointless. There's also a few, obviously it's a demo, so you don't expect great performance, but there's a few areas where you get consistently dropped frames. It's no good. Also, one really weird thing that I couldn't figure out is you have basically, when you lower the graphic settings, there's some sort of forced upscaling happening. There's something like, I don't know if it's FSR or some other AI upscaling. It's either that or they've just done a really bad job at transitioning the texture downscale when you like move away from an area. There's something happening and it doesn't look good, basically is what I'm trying to say. However, it's really not noticeable if you're on the high graphics, but if you're on the high graphics, you're not going to get a great FPS. So as you explore an adventure, you're going to unlock more ways to do this. So you start off with a double jump and a dodge roll. You can combine these together. You can do a double jump combined with a dodge roll to get further. But later on, you're going to unlock a grappling hook in the demo. And then you're going to have certain points that you can grapple onto. It's not everywhere. There are some scripted areas where you grapple and then it allows you to get to other places basically. One thing, by the way, as you're playing this tutorial, I played with keyboard and mouse. There's no UI graphics tutorial for keyboard and mouse, so every input will be a controller input and you're just going to have to guess it what it is on a keyboard. But what I will say, one of them's Q, one of them's E, and then I don't know, I just spam the keyboard buttons because I have no clue. There's also voice acting, so when your character dies, you'll do like a little one-liner or make a noise, and it's pretty decent. But there's actually cutscenes which are voice acted, and they actually suck. All the cutscenes suck, I just skipped them. It's very cringy, not for me. But the fact that there are some audio when the character dies and there's some feedback there, I think that's a pretty cool thing. The whole world is themed around clockpunk, by the way, so there's going to be like lots of gears, moving gears, and these work into your puzzles too. It looks really nice. There's not really any information of what's to come in the full game, but there's a few things what the demo has, but I've already just explained them. Let's talk about the combat, because the combat is one thing where you're forced to do it to move on to the next zone. Not in every instance, you can just run past the enemies, but there's a few instances where it's forced, so I need to talk about it. Combat sucks. And there's no two ways to put it. The combat is not good. Basically, all you're doing when you go into combat is spam left click, and if the enemy is about to attack, you just roll out of the way with Q. That is all the combat consists of. Now, there's different enemy types, there are a variety of enemies, and there's some ranged enemies, but they don't do anything that makes the combat feel better. It just, because you're going to be in the same... Let's say there's an enemy variety of 3 enemies. There's 2 melee, 1 ranged. It's going to be that exact same one about 5 times in one zone, and then you can move to the next zone. So it still gets repetitive, and you're not really doing anything, just left clicking. I've heard there are abilities to do. I didn't have any abilities, so I've heard there's abilities, and maybe that's what you spend the currency on. The tutorial doesn't tell you this. By the way, the tutorial is not good. But the playable area after the tutorial is actually great and it is so much better. They should just delete the tutorial completely. So yeah, I do recommend you play the demo. I don't think it will be available forever, but maybe it will be. I don't know. Go and try it out if you think you might like it. I did enjoy it. I don't know what game this compares to. I have not played a single game that's similar to this. I just don't know what's the inspiration behind it, but it's fun to play, so I enjoyed it. Again, combat sucks. That's really the only thing that I can think that sucks. Cutscenes suck, but you can skip them, so it's not a negative. Frame rate sucks, but that's going to get fixed surely, so that's not a negative. Really, it's just the combat, and you're going to get abilities in combat which will spice up the combat more than just spamming left click, right? So definitely give this one a wish list if you think it looks good. I'm going to wish list it, why not? And then play the demo if you want. Anyway, that's really been it. The demo's only 20 minutes. I can't talk about this game forever. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.